Hello, everyone. A very good morning and a good afternoon to all of you who have joined. Welcome you all to Site24x7. Hope everyone is safe and sound. I'm Shanti and I'll be hosting this webinar today along with Nitin, our technical expert. As you all know, today's session will be on monitoring your network traffic using Site24x7. Please wait till the end of the session to raise your queries. Before we get started, let me confirm that all of you can view a presentation window and I'm audible and clear to all. If there is any issue, please ping over in the chat window. Let's get started. We'll be covering the basics of network traffic monitoring, a few business use cases on where network traffic analysis can be helpful, and how Site24x7 can help with understanding your network behavior. We'll also have a short product demo to support it. For those who are not familiar with Site24x7, let me give a brief introduction. Site24x7 was formed from the collective expertise of Zoho, a SaaS leader for business applications, and Manage Engine, a world-class IT management software. Site24x7 is an all-in-one cloud-based monitoring solution for IT and DevOps teams of all shapes and sizes, starting from startups and SMBs to Fortune 500 companies. I'll be adding more about Site24x7's capabilities later. Let me move on to today's topic, monitoring your network traffic using Site24x7. Let's start with the basics. So, what's the need for network traffic analysis? And before that, what's network traffic? We all know that traffic is simply the data moving across a network at a given time. So, how is this data transmitted? They are broken down into data packets and sent over a network, and these packets are reassembled by the receiving device. Next, what is network traffic monitoring? Network traffic monitoring, popularly known as NetFlow monitoring, is the process of tracking network traffic and bandwidth by analyzing flows based on different technologies. The type of flow export varies with the device, and they depend on many factors, including the hardware and the number of connections on a network. To understand the transmission and network behavior better, one needs complete visibility and can obtain this with stats on trends and peaks over a period for different metrics. So this was the basic step in any network traffic analysis. Further, reports and dashboards drill down and provide deeper insights for troubleshooting. As most of you might already know, flow simply refers to unidirectional set of packets sharing common attributes such as source and destination IP, source and destination port, IP protocol, and type of service. NetFlow is the most common flow export technology developed by Cisco. NetFlow tracks flow by aggregating packets associated with each flow into flow records, which are then exported. Sample flow, which is commonly known as SFlow, exports a statistical sampling of individual packet headers along with the first 64 or 128 bytes of the packet payload. Sampling is typically employed to reduce the volume of flow records exported from each network device. Based on a defined sampling rate, an average of 1 out of n packets is randomly sampled. JFlow is a similar technology that's identical to SFlow, but it was developed by Juniper. There are also other flow technologies like CFlow, IPFix, NetStream, and AdFlow. Site24x7 can help you track network traffic that's based on all these technologies. So now we'll move on to why do we need network traffic analysis? It helps spot peaks, heavy incoming traffic from a particular application. It identifies the top contributing applications on your network. It also allows you to track the traffic moving between the main office and your branch offices. Further, this also plays a key role in security analysis, allowing you to detect changes and anomalies in your network. Also, with the NetFlow analysis, you can test the quality and ensure appropriate allocation. And finally, the charts, reports, and the data that you get will help you quickly fix issues. So, considering today's vast business models, we all know that offices are not always restricted to one particular location. Business in general have branch offices and multiple locations, and especially with today's hybrid work scenario, a part of the workforce is working from home while the rest is at office. So this causes This brings in the need for virtual private network for employees to connect from home and then work. So this again increases the number of work locations as the number of employees working from home increase, the number of work locations also increase. Thus, a system admin has to monitor the network performance from all these locations and correlate in one single window to obtain a conclusive result on network activity and traffic. This is all simplified with Site24x7 that can collect network data from multiple branch offices and locations using Site24x7 on-premise Polar. And this acts as the NetFlow collector. And this consolidates all the traffic into one place and sends it to the Site24x7 web client. Moreover, Site24x7 is SaaS based, so it can easily scale to collect all your network data and allow you to access all the monitored data from anywhere. So now specific to Site24x7, how does Site24x7 monitor NetFlow? First, it collects data from your devices. For this, your device should be able to export NetFlow. So you have to configure your device to export flows to Site24x7 on-premise Polar, which acts as a NetFlow collector, as I told you earlier. And then these data is like received by the Site24x7 Polar, which is sent to the Site24x7 server, and then it is analyzed, processed, and sent you and we send you with alerts, reporting, and all that can help you troubleshoot the network issues, the network traffic and bandwidth issues that you face. So the working of Site24x7 part, let me demonstrate that with using our web client. So the first step is like first you have to log into your Site24x7 account and go to the network tab. So from the network tab, you can access the NetFlow tab. And from here, you click the plus icon near NetFlow devices, which helps you add a NetFlow device. Next, you have to choose an on-premise Polar that should act as a NetFlow collector. So out of different on-premise Polar, ensure that you choose the one that is up, and also the network module should be enabled in it. So something with network module up and also the on-premise Polar up. So next, you choose this and click next, and here after choosing the Polar, it's a flow export configuration, and you can do that automatically or manually. So when it comes to manual flow export, you just choose the type of device based on what you have in your event. For example, a FortiGate firewall, and this shows the command set for different FortiGate firewall devices. And then here, so you'll be shown a list of commands that you have to copy and execute in your device environment. So from these commands, what you have to do is you have to replace the necessary attributes like interface name, source interface, and click copy to clipboard. And once you click copy, all these things will be copied, and you have to go to your device and execute these manually. If you don't prefer a manual configuration, you can automate it by choosing automatic flow export configuration. So for this, you have to enter a IP address and then provide a credential and add an SNMP credential and give connect. So you do not worry about the credentials. See, like we encrypt and store them. So once this connecting is successful, you will be able to view a screen like this. So this may take a few minutes. So I've already added it on another screen. And so once the device is successfully connected, you will be allowed to show, you will be shown a list of interfaces from which you can choose the source interface and also the device type, device vendor or type, and then the command flows. And then when you give execute commands, it will be automatically executed in your environment. For instance, if any of your credentials fail, you will be shown an issue like this. If the on-premise Polar is not reachable or if the credential test has failed, you'll be shown so that you can fix that particular step and go ahead. So once you execute these commands, so once you first connect and then execute the commands, and after this is done, you'll be shown a screen like this. Like you have to choose the credential, SNMP credential, and then click next. So this will fetch you a list of devices for which the flows are being monitored. Yeah, this is done. So what you have to do is you can choose the particular device that's of interest to you. For example, if this is your device and you can choose the interfaces that you wish to monitor. By default, all interfaces will be chosen. So you can uncheck and choose only what's necessary, and then you give next. The next step is like it's almost the final step where you add Site24x7 level configurations like associating with the monitor group so that it will be easy for organizing and maintaining and dependent on monitor, and threshold configuration to receive alerts whenever you want. And this can be like you can also add a new threshold or use the default threshold. And the tags is for easy classification, and choose your user alert group and all that and give next. So this is how you'll have to recheck your entries like the on-premise polo chosen, the device added, the monitor group notification profile and all that, and click add. So this may take some time. Yeah, the device has been added successfully. So, okay. So this is how your device will look like. It's like we fetch data like the traffic, volume, flow count, this is all at the device level. And at the interface level, you get to view it's like each interface, like the traffic it receives, the bandwidth utilization, and all that. You can click and expand and view better graphs for all this. And the application level, it's like each application, how much traffic it generates, and the percentage of traffic generation. And you can also view in detail using this graph. And the source from which the source IP from which traffic is generated, and the destination that receives this, and conversation. This is a combination of source and destination. It includes the application name, traffic, and the graph. And QoS is the quality of service. It's based on differential services code point parameter. I'll get back to this again and explain you. So these are the tabs that we show for any NetFlow device that's being analyzed. So with all these properly in place, all the metrics that are shown, you can obtain better visibility across the whole network. This includes the devices on a network and how they are connected at the device level, and the interfaces and the traffic that they receive, and which application receives and send traffic, and where do they send traffic and receive from the source and destination, and the flow, how the flow occurs. That's a conversation. So the quality of service of each transaction is the QoS. It denotes the measure of the overall performance of service, and measuring this will help you optimize network usage as it's based on differentiated services code point. So these DSCP templates contain predefined parameters to monitor traffic based on the priority that's defined by each device. So whenever your device sends, it will define the priority and based on which DSCP acts, and that's the quality of service. So I hope you all got an idea about the basics, the configuration part, and how you do it in Site24x7, and the metrics that you need to monitor to obtain better understanding of your network behavior. So now we shall consider a few business use cases that will help you understand NetFlow and where NetFlow analysis can be helpful. So now I'll cover the most common and critical use case, that's high bandwidth usage. So we all know networks are very complex and busy, and especially in business environments where a huge number of network devices are connected, bandwidth hogs are usually the cause of network slowness. So you all know it's like as the networks grow, number of people who use the network grow, and eventually the bandwidth hogs. So like bandwidth hogs cause network slowness, and that's how it's like every individual user finds it difficult to use the network. So this is quite serious as it can affect all the users who are connected over a network, and it becomes a responsibility and the headache of the system admin or the network admin to identify the nodes that consume higher traffic and bandwidth, and not just end it, eliminate them. What can you do? How can NetFlow help here? You can identify the top consumers of your precious bandwidth by viewing the conversations that occur in every NetFlow device. And this will help you give an idea about the source that consumes higher bandwidth. Also, to obtain better visibility at the network level, you can use the network health dashboard that gives you stats on move to the client. Yeah, we have the network health dashboard here. That will give you stats on top devices by traffic and volume, top interfaces by traffic, bandwidth, and volume, and top applications, top protocols, and top QoS by traffic. So we can obtain all that with a single dashboard and make and obtain conclusive results on what is affecting your network. Coming to the next use case, we all know that monitoring the remote work network is critical. And as I told you earlier, with the part of the workforce working from home connected to the virtual private network, ensuring that the internal network is available for all employees is prime. So that is identifying the remote users who congest the internal network is an important metric to be tracked. Additionally, it's also essential to identify the bandwidth consumption per user so that you can allocate resources accordingly. For proper capacity planning and futuristic analysis, you need this kind of data. So how can you achieve this? Actually, this can be done in different ways. First, you can identify the top remote users connected via VPN by defining the VPN port and monitoring for that particular port. Like, for instance, we'll consider an IT services company, Zilker, which uses some port like 27,000 or 2747 something. You can create an application template for that. For example, add an application template, click here, give a name and choose a protocol and then some brand port number that this particular protocol uses, and then choose the IP address like all IP, or you give a IP address range or whole IP network and all that, and you just give add. So once you add this, you'll be able to view something like this. So this will allow you to visualize the transactions that are involved that particular port and protocol. So this you can view it from the application. Yeah, from here, the application step. So all the application templates that you add, like create an applications here, and thus you can monitor the traffic for that particular um, port and protocol. So you can also view the applications involved along with the traffic in this particular applications view. And similarly, you can get it from the conversations view as well, along with the source and destination data. Similar to the previous use case, you can also use the health dashboard and the source and destination and conversation views to obtain the data. And if you want detailed in-depth VPN monitoring metrics, Site24x7 already supports VPN monitoring for the remote work needs. So that we can use to obtain detailed VPN related metrics. So over to the next use case. Now we have seen that bandwidth hogs and traffic consumption user wise. We shall drill down further to understand the applications that cause these hogs. So what are the probable chances that an application clogs a network or create bandwidth hogs? So as we considered earlier, we'll again consider the same example of Zilker, an IT services company. It uses many internal applications and tools to collaborate work. And these could be like anything from version control labs, build deployment tools, testing tools, communication tools, work drives, and more. These all form an integral part of like day-to-day life, and they're indispensable. However, when employees are busy working, they may also use social media platforms or other music and streaming platforms to ease the stress at work, and this is pretty common. Uh, but these external applications may add load to the internal network. So the first step in ensuring seamless availability of your network is identifying the bandwidth consumption by each internal and external application that is used. So how can you solve this? You can create a custom application template for your applications that your employees use. For example, for YouTube or Facebook or any audio platform, you can just create a custom template by including the IP address and the port that it uses and track the bandwidth consumption. And again, view top applications on a NetFlow help dashboard so that you can identify which application is using more bandwidth. Previous use cases were all focused on identifying who clogs the network, what causes issues with the network. Now that we have seen about the issues, now we'll move to a solution part. How can you identify and fix this particular problem? It is equally important to learn how to curb the usage at different levels. So your employees who are connected to different applications may not know that a certain application is consuming more bandwidth than expected. So any application might contribute to a lot of traffic by creating unwanted backend calls. Or it's also natural that an employee might be downloading or uploading huge files. What's the result? As expected, it's a slow network for others connected over the same internal network. So network admins need to manage flow and control traffic at the whole network level, which drills down to the individual device and interface levels. There are also other criteria like application, protocol, DSCP, and IP address. That is, you can you can configure threshold limits on how much bandwidth or traffic each application should consume or generate. So when you configure this at the port level, it can help you reduce the load on the critical VPN port or whichever port is very critical for your daily day-to-day operations. Besides, configuring these limits at the IP address level will help you optimize the load on a particular IP. And if you configure it DSCP wise, it will be like you will not load much on protocol or template that's like more important in the or which carries the priority data. So you can achieve control and prevent bandwidth hogs in different ways, but then using the threshold configuration. So you just have to simply configure threshold limits at the desired levels. And how would you like to receive alerts, like which kind of media or the tool that you use, so that you can take necessary actions like blocking a particular port or IP that generates excessive traffic when you once you receive an notification from Site24x7. So you can prevent a network from total shutdown. So there can also be cases like DDoS attacks where you receive excessive amount of traffic and everything. And when you identify a particular port or protocol that generates that kind of excess traffic, you can simply block it and save your network. So I'm done with my use cases. So now that you have covered the basics of NetFlow, viewed a product demo, and I've seen a few business use cases, we'll give you a few points to consider why Site24x7 is the right choice for your NetFlow monitoring needs. So as you all know, Site24x7 is SaaS based. So it's definitely not going to limit you for how much ever data you're going to dump in. So irrespective of the number of locations you have branch offices in, Site24x7 can manage all your data in one place and provide you with insights for devices across data centers. And with network monitoring, NetFlow monitoring, that's network traffic monitoring integrated in one place, you did not switch between different software or buy different tools for your network monitoring needs. And now that some of you would have been already aware and started using, we have also released the network configuration manager beta version. You can access it from network NCM. Yeah, so the NCM product is also ready. So which means you get to use network, NetFlow, NCM, and also REST API based Meraki monitoring all from a single console with just a few add-ons, and you didn't switch between tabs or use different software for different needs of your network monitoring. I'd also add that Site24x7 is a single console monitoring solution for all your network management needs for device monitoring, traffic monitoring, bandwidth analysis, mapping to visualize the hierarchy, and also trap based alerting and all that. So with intuitive dashboards, charts, and reports, you can simply project them on the screen of your NOC room, and you can just add necessary metrics to a custom dashboard or use a health dashboard and display significant changes so that you do not analyze raw data every time. This also helps you identify anomalies with better visualization and real-time alerts that Site24x7 provides via email, SMS, voice calls, and other third-party collaboration tools. Not to miss the deep network monitoring insights that come along with NetFlow monitoring in a single tab. So this is like automatic network discovery using SNMP and support for 450 vendors. This is at the network monitoring level alone. Similarly, we have different set of vendors and device templates for NCM and also NetFlow monitoring. So now we have like 10,000 device templates for network monitoring besides NetFlow and NCM templates. And we support vendors like Cisco, HP, Canon, Juniper, D-Link, Dell, FortiGate, and all that. So you can also automate discovery and mapping with layer 2 maps that will create a schema and also give you a better visualization of your network. You can also create topology maps and like the health dashboard for NetFlow that I showed. You'll have a specific network health dashboard as well. So where you can get to view top devices based on response time, packet loss, and top interfaces based on traffic, bandwidth, errors, discards, and all that. So to stay on top of network issues, we have trap processing, which generates process trap alerts for any trap that your SNMP defines. Also, you can take up, I mean, Site24 can do custom monitoring if you just provide a simple SNMP OID, so that if it's defined in your MIB and if you provide an OID, you can also monitor custom sensors and also any custom metric. In addition to the default MIBs that are available, you can also upload custom MIBs that you have in your environment, so that you can monitor the metrics of your choice. So for your hybrid and remote work needs, we have VPN and VoIP monitoring. I think I've already discussed about VPN monitoring earlier. So VoIP is also important for remote work, as it tracks different metrics like jitter, latency, and packet loss throughout the call path. Now that we have discussed the features, we shall take a look at the pricing. We don't charge separately for all the above features that we listed in the previous slide. So the licensing is based only on the interfaces. Site24 also offers free network and NetFlow interfaces as a part of every pack, and we also add-ons to scale to your needs. So this is how it's like we make it clear that Site24/7 is easily scalable. So you just buy additional units of add-ons and keep monitoring any number of interfaces in your network. So 50 NetFlow interfaces are priced at $125, and additional 1,000 NetFlow interfaces are priced at $2,000. You can start a 30-day free trial today and know what Site24/7 has to offer you. So before wrapping up for the day, let me add a few more about Site24/7. Site24/7 is an all-in-one monitoring solution that provides monitoring for different components that run your IT. And this includes websites on the front end, servers, applications, logs, network on the back end. And also, it's like covers all your virtualization platforms, cloud, and containers, and provides single console monitoring irrespective of where they are deployed. To add more, staying in sync with uptime and performance on a global level is important. That's why we have monitoring done from over 110 locations globally to provide no hassle for customers who wish to maintain any supporting infrastructure in any data center. You can also write your own plugins, scale up to your needs, and maintain your hybrid IT environment with the AI-powered insights and instant alerts. You also have anomaly detection and other ML-powered insights. Coming to security, Site24/7 complies with all major security standards as it undergoes an industry standard security audit every year, where an evaluation of the design and operative effectiveness of control is diligently done. Is your organization using Slack, Jira, Microsoft Teams, or any other collaboration and ITSM tool for say? You can integrate with Site24/7 and monitor root notifications through them. And the list here is just a sample. You can view them on our site, and also you can add any of your tools that you use to request us to add an integration by dropping a post on a community. We'll have it done for you. So it's time you join us. More than 30,000 customers trust Site24/7 to obtain transparency and reduce the mean time to repair for the IT environment. If you're ready to get started, create an account in Site24/7 now, and you can rest your monitoring worries on us. Monitoring and connecting both are simple, so our expert team is always available when, where, and how you need them. So you can contact us with these contact numbers that are available, or you can just mail us at support@site247.com or sales@site247.com for sales queries. Hope you found this webinar to be informative and interesting. Thank you.